imagination looks different for different
Yeah.
people.
Hmm.
And playfulness even. Like I
Mhm.
am more like you. I'm very facts, and
Mhm.
my husband is the opposite. And so for him, playfulness is like making huge messes and being silly water fights. And I'm like, hey, let's play a board game or like trivia. Like
Yeah.
for me, that's
Uh-huh.
fun. For him, that's like doing school and he thinks that's silly. And so
Yeah.
one of the things that I talk about is that, just because my playfulness doesn't look like his doesn't
Mhm.
mean that it's not there. And even as we look at our kids, we may have kids that are more studious and serious and think,
Mhm.
oh gosh, they don't have playfulness. But if we can ask good questions and find out what is fun to them, it may not be what is fun to their brother or sister, but we can still encourage their unique gifted of playfulness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think it comes out in, like, different ways for each parent, like you're saying.
Right.
Like, I was playing with paints with our son a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Who cares? You're painting, like, you're having fun." And he's mixing all the colors. I don't really care. Who cares? Just paint.
Yeah.
Okay, if you like it being brown and all the colors mixed, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then he stops and says, "Daddy doesn't let me mix paints." And I was like, "Oh, I just broke a rule and I didn't know." But it's just that's, like, different. It's
Right.
different types of but Eddie is so much better at, like, imaginative play in that way. I may be more better at, like, messy play. Like, "Sure, go play in the mulch. I don't care. I'll just wash you off later." And Eddie is so much better at, like, creative play with, like, building things and characters and planes and trains where I'm not as good as that, and it just shows up in different
Different.
ways, but it's all, building him up, building his brain and his creativity and his imagination in different ways.
Right. And most importantly, it's the relationship. I think, we
Mhm.
can talk about specific tools that you can use to kind of increase these different qualities, but the root of all of it is relationship. It's
Mhm.
quality time with our kids.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes the most inconvenient thing for
Mhm.
parents to just make time to be with our
Yeah.
kids. So whether it's mixing up all the paints to make brown or telling fantastic stories with all these characters, what he, especially at 2, is remembering is like, mom and dad are with me and spending time with
Yeah.
me and prioritizing me. And that is the most important thing.